Hello and welcome to my January setup video. We can say goodbye to 2018, so no matter if your year was amazing or if there were a lot of rough patches, this is the time where you can just kind of let it all go. And if that means starting a new notebook for you, then by all means do it. If you need to let go of things, I suggest getting a new notebook, and that way you can just start fresh and start clean and do whatever needs to be done so that you can start January of 2019 on the right foot. So in my setup, I am still using the same journal that I used for the previous 2 months. So I started this notebook in November, and it is a Nuna, and it's a larger one than their large light, which has fewer pages. So it's got quite a few pages, and it just didn't make any sense to me to start completely from the beginning. So I'm just continuing on with January in the same notebook. So here you're seeing my cover page, and my theme for this month is just black and gold and kind of wintry. I do a lot of snowflakes, but on the cover of my January spread, I wanted to do my word of the year. Now, some people choose to do a word of the year and some people don't, and it's totally up to you. I like having a word of the year because it kind of helps me set my intentions and my goals throughout the year, and I can kind of come back to it and say, remember that in the beginning of January, this is what you had planned. This is what you wanted to do. This is the change that you wanted to see. So this year, my word is breathe, and it has a lot of different meanings in my life. And if you pick a word, you might find one that has different meanings in different areas of your life. So for me, this past year in 2018, I have become very, very involved and passionate about yoga. I'm considering getting my yoga certificate, become a teacher in yoga. So breathing is one of the biggest parts of yoga, and it's also just a part of my life in general. To give you a little bit of personal background that you really don't need to know, but maybe it will help. For a long time growing up, I had some serious anger issues, and I didn't really know how to deal with my anger, and I got very easily frustrated, and I would yell and scream and say terrible, terrible things. And I always promised myself that was one thing that I wouldn't carry into being a mom. And if I'm being honest, there have been some times that I have let my anger get the best of me, even with my children, and I have raised my voice and screamed and then cried about it. So while I've been working on it, in 2019, I want to take it to a new level. I want everything I do to be focused on that, making sure that I'm breathing and really thinking things through before I react, and taking time to breathe for myself, taking time away from work, knowing that the work will wait and it will be there tomorrow, and I have all the time in the world to do that, but I don't have all the time in the world to spend with my children and with my family and doing things I love and that I'm passionate about. So that's kind of where my word of the year is. If you are still looking for a word of the year and want to include one, I do have a blog post from last year with a lot of word of the year ideas, and I will link to that in the description. So here is my January calendar page. I kept it pretty simple with just your standard like grid calendar. This month, last month, I used my calendar as kind of a content planner for YouTube and my blog, because planning in general becomes very popular during the months of December and January as people decide that they want to get into it and organize their lives and prioritize things. So it's usually a fairly busy month for me in regards to email and putting out content and making sure that I'm sharing content and all these fun things that have to do with what I do. So I decided that because January is another big month, I would give myself a little bit more as well. So this allows me enough room to just make some quick notes and jot down my content as well as any events or anything that's going on. My birthday is in January, and I will be a very young, very fun 28 years old. So I am looking forward to that as well this month. And so at the bottom of all this, this is where I'll be planning my content, which is like my work stuff. So whether that be YouTube videos or blog posts or Instagram stuff or just things that I need to do on the administrative side of my site, this is where I will kind of keep it. So then I have a key off to the left that is going to be like little tiny doodles for YouTube and for blog posts, and then I can keep track of the ideas I have and then what I have published for that month. And again, I'm just keeping with this black and gold theme. I really like black and gold. I a while ago flipped back through some of my old weeklies, and the few that really popped out to me were the ones that I used black and gold on. So to create this, I did black fine line pen, and I used the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, which I have really grown to love. The header is with a Tombow Foodie pen, and then all the gold in this is done with a Jelly Roll gold gel pen. They are my absolute favorite for gel pens. They are kind of pricey, but you can buy them individually. I think I bought my metallic ones at Michael's, and I just bought them individually for a couple dollars a piece. They seem to last a decent amount of time. You do have to store them where the gel won't fall to the back of the pen, so you have to store them like with the tip down. But they have a really nice effect. They actually do have that metallic sheen to them, which is really nice. So if you want to add some metallic to your journal, these are great. They don't bleed through. So the next page is going to be where my goals and my habit tracker are. And if you've watched my videos before, you know that I usually keep these very close to each other. So goals and habits for me go in the same hand. So I decided to just label this page accountability instead of habit tracker, just because I see it more as keeping myself accountable for the things that I am doing. And when I have to flip there on a day that I haven't done anything, I'm like, dang it, I can't really fill anything in, and I'm gonna have this big open space, and it motivates me to want to keep going. And then having my goals right there also just helps me have to look at them and say, like, this is why I'm doing these things. This is why today I have to get up at 5:30 a.m. and do this. So I decided to put them on the same page. I did do my goals a little differently this month just because I am trying to break things down and be very efficient with my goals. So you'll see these boxes being drawn here in a minute. They're already sketched out in pencil, but along the top I chose 3 categories of my life that mattered the most, and that is personal, health, and work. And in those 3 areas, I will pick maybe 1 or 2 monthly goals that I want to achieve. And then below that, I'm going to have the action plan, or the actions that I will take to work towards and achieve those goals. And then at the very bottom is a place to write in my progress. So that's going to kind of be where I do my weekly check-ins that you guys have seen in my previous videos. And I think that this method is going to work a lot better than just listing my goals out, because then I list them, but then I don't really have a tracker or a way to say, hey, did I actually accomplish this specific goal? Where this actually gives me a place to write each step of the way, which is really great for me. Again, this month I am keeping my habit tracker very small. I found that in December that worked a lot better for me than having a bunch of things that I was more or less mindlessly filling in, or things that I had already established as habits, and I was just filling them in to, I don't know, make my habit tracker more appealing looking because it was filled in. So I actually took the things that I want to focus on the most and just narrowed them down. So I have a total of 7 habits, I believe. Yeah, so 7 habits. So from the left to the right, they are workout, and then yoga, and then tracking calories and eating healthy, and then blog work. So that's for me just writing like 500 words a day, or even if that means in an email or whatever, but it means actually getting on my computer and putting the time into writing. The more you write, the better you become at it. So I try to write 500 words every single day. And then the next one is an Instagram post because I slack there. And then the next one is intimacy. And then the final one is self-care, so journaling or reading a podcast. The next page is one that you guys have seen now for months, because it has been so beneficial to me, and I just am not going to give it up anytime in the near future, but this is my stats page. So if you haven't seen it, this is like the big expanded version of a habit tracker. For me, I use it for my health mainly and productivity, but mainly my health. So what I do is I track my weight, which I do have a space for daily, but I do not track my weight daily. And on the days that I don't, I just draw a little line. And then I track my daily steps, which I get from my Apple Watch. And then I track my daily health in like a bar meter format. So I just kind of like fill in the bar depending on how healthy I was that day. And then I have my productivity and my mood there also that are the same. Like I just fill up the bar however full I presume that my day was. And then I have a place to write in what my actual workouts were that day. So for right now, that is a lot of yoga and bar and Pilates style stuff that I do from home. And then the final column is calories. And I track my calories in my MyFitnessPal, but I like to be able to see a complete overview of the entire month worth of my calories here. So I've had a lot of people ask me about this page and how I use it or why I use it. And it's just for me to kind of glance over at. And looking at it now, actually, I totally missed one. I missed how many hours of sleep, so I'm going to have to go back in and add that. But for me, this kind of helps me analyze everything so I can say, oh, that day I ate 1,400 calories, and the following day, my energy levels were up and my mood was up and everything was up. And then on this day where I ate 1,200 calories, I was a lot sleepier and I slept longer and my mood wasn't as good, or what days I was productive and how those are affected by things like sleep. So moving on, this coming page, there isn't much to it. You're going to just see kind of the title. So I drew out a snowflake shape in pencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write over it in pen for the full month. I don't really have a specific day for each little piece, but I'm just going to write over it and fill it up with things that I am grateful for throughout the month so that the words in the end will make like a snowflake shape, and I will then go back and erase the pencil. It's kind of an abstract idea and we'll see how it turns out. I haven't done this before, but I thought it was really fun and it went with my theme. And I didn't want to draw another grid. Sometimes I just get bored of grids, so I wanted to try something different. So that really wraps up my actual monthly pages. But if you watched my 2019 setup video, then you know that I set up something called 12 months of healthy challenges. If you want to watch the video, I'll put the link up at the top. And then this is my monthly challenges page. And I said that I would fill this in and kind of give you guys the rundown of how I use it and how I choose my monthly challenges. So I sat down with a little piece of paper, which you can see to the right, and I wrote down 12 things that I really wanted to just try to do over a 12-month period. So I don't necessarily keep these and then just stack them on top of each other. I will move from one to the next. So I started with, in January, a full month of being vegan because I am transitioning to be fully vegan. So my challenge for January is to be vegan all month. That is one that I will be carrying through for the whole year. That's the idea, at least. And then in February, I have 25 burpees daily. I love burpees. I don't know why, I always have, and they're good for your health. And because I've been doing a lot of very slow moving, strengthening yoga and flexibility, it's a good way to just kind of get your heart rate up. The next one is a protein shake for breakfast. I find that I eat better throughout the day if I actually take the time to make a protein shake. And then the next month is no diet soda, which is going to be tough for me, but I'm going to try to kick it. And then over the summer months, I chose that I want to run 3 times a week and then 15 push-ups daily to help with upper body strength, and then 10 sun salutations every morning. It's a good way to wake up. Finally, I want to eliminate creamer just because I used to drink black coffee and now I can't drink coffee without creamer, and it kind of drives me crazy. I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to try. And then meditate 10 minutes per day, 25 squats daily, yoga every day. And then in December, I'm going to do no sweets, but only till Christmas because, come on, I know that I'm going to eat sweets on Christmas, so I'm not going to try to fool myself. So wrapping this up, I just want to say I am not a dietitian or a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't have any sort of degree or certificate that makes me the right person to tell you what challenges you should or should not include. And if you are questioning them, definitely talk to your physician. Do things that are right for you and for your life. If you want to partake in this monthly challenges throughout 2019, you don't have to copy mine, and maybe yours is only 5 burpees a day, or maybe it's only 10 squats a day, or maybe you just want to do a month of keto. It's up to you, and I'm not the one to tell you what you can and can't do or what you should and shouldn't do. You know what your body is capable of, and if you don't, then seek out a professional to help you out. But this is how I set mine up, and I like doing it with the fun writing just because it encourages me. And then, as I explained in my 2019 video, there is a little tracker below each month so that you can track things as you go. So guys, that wraps up my January setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon.